If you've ever wondered what the line in the song Sweet Home Alabama meant when it said, now Muscle Shoals has the Swampers, well, we've got us a live one. Hi, I'm Julie Burns with BamaSound Media. I am also the narrator for BamaSound, and I'm here with the founder, co-creator, and an actual swamper himself, Bill Hinds, who has many other hats and titles, including producer and session musician with, well, we're going to have to find out. In Muscle Shoals, you lived, and you were a swamper. Were you a baby swamper? I think they're all a lot older than you are.
Well, I'm not sure I qualify as a swamper. I think the swampers were a specific group of 4 guys.
Okay, so what is
that played
a
on all the stuff in, the Aretha Franklin and those days back in the 60s.
With Leanne Russell.
And into the 70s with Bob Seger and Paul Simon and all that stuff.
Yeah. In Muscle Shoals.
In Muscle Shoals.
On Jackson Highway.
Yeah.
You played there. Did you play at Fame as well?
Yeah, mostly at Fame, probably. Yeah. Jackson Highway was before my time. They moved into a much larger facility on the river up there by the time I got there.
When did you get there, Bill Hinds?
Well, I was playing here in town in Montgomery with a group called Harmony. And I'm not sure how it happened, but somehow they got a production deal with this studio in Muscle Shoals called Wishbone at the time. And so we went up there. We would go up there occasionally and record. And with the goal of getting a record deal, like everybody else in those days. The record deal didn't pan out. It seemed like I heard something about a development deal in Canada somewhere, but that didn't pan out. And the band eventually fell apart. But after recording up there with Harmony, I started getting callbacks. So I would drive back and forth from here in Montgomery to Muscle Shoals and play on demos and stuff. And I eventually wound up playing on a record by a singer-songwriter named Robert Byrne, who was a great writer. He wrote some hits on country radio in those days. He's gone now, unfortunately.
Couple of songs.
And I started getting master sessions playing on records there at Wishbone.
Wow.
And
so you knew Rick Hall? Did you know Rick Hall?
Yeah, he was at Fame. Working at Fame came later.
Okay.
After I moved up there.
Okay.
But there was Roy Orbison at Wishbone we did. Wayne Newton, of all people.
My mother's favorite. Yeah, I always thought he sounded like Connie Francis.
Yeah. The great thing about Roy Orbison was, this was in a time, he was a huge superstar in the 60s with Pretty Woman and all that stuff.
Right.
And then he had kind of a lull in his career. And this was during his lull, before he hooked up with Dylan and
the Wilburys.
Tom Petty and the Wilburys.
Yeah.
He was trying to make a comeback. And, the guy's an icon. And I was pretty intimidated. I was young.
Yeah.
I hadn't really played.
How old?
Oh, gosh.
18?
No.
20?
22 maybe, 23.
That's a baby. Was he cool?
He was very cool. He said something. He came. I was doing overdubs. Okay, I didn't play on the actual tracks on the floor with all the rest of the guys. They brought me in to do some extra guitar work after the tracks were already cut. And so he wasn't there a lot of the time. But the one day he was there, he came in to say hello. And I was just a wreck. I was like, oh my God, this is Roy Orbison, And he started talking about James Burton. Now, if you know who James Burton is, he was Elvis's guitar player. He played with Ricky Nelson.
Wow.
He's this iconic sort of country-ish guitar player.
Right.
He's a legend in his own right. He's talking about having James Burton in his band, and I'm just like, oh God. But before he walked back into the control room, he said, you belong here too. And that literally changed my life.
Thank you,
You know,
Roy Orbison.
It
Wow.
literally changed my life.
That's cool.
He was a sweet guy. So anyway, I was commuting back and forth from Montgomery to do sessions at Wishbone, and
What kind of a drive was
that
that?
eventually led to me moving up there.
Like 3 hours? I can't
About
remember.
three and a half.
About 3.5
those days.
hours, yeah.
And so I eventually moved up there, and that's when I started working at other studios, and I started working at Fame and at Muscle Shoals Sound and a couple other studios there in town. So, yeah. Back in those days, this was during actually, when I was working there the most was probably in the early 80s.
Okay.
And the thing that Muscle Shoals was known for from the 60s and the 70s, which was kind of this soul music, R&B music, kind of rootsy thing, was not happening anymore.
Really?
Everybody was looking more for kind of a slick. I mean, the Doobie Brothers with Michael McDonald were really huge at the time. Steely Dan was really huge at the time. So everybody was trying to make those kind of records.
Right.
And I cut my teeth on those kind of records. I loved that stuff. So they started using me because I sounded a little more LA than Memphis.
I see.
Yeah. So
not even a baby swamper.
Yeah, all the Swampers, as they're known, are those four guys that started off at Fame back in the day. Yeah, Roger Clark, Barry Beckett, keyboards, David Hood on bass, and Jimmy Johnson.
I think we've lost one or two of them, haven't we?
Roger's gone. Jimmy Johnson's gone. I think Barry Beckett's gone too.
Interesting.
But David Hood, the bass player, he's still kicking around up there.
That's great.
There's been a real resurgence in Muscle Shoals since that movie came out.
Oh gosh, I have that CD.
So it's a really rejuvenated music scene up there now.
And I can't remember what it's called, but it's about the Muscle Shoals, the entire scene, and of course the Native Americans, and the whole Trail of Tears.
And I love living up there. I mean, there's something to what the movie said. I mean, I'm not sure about all the Indian mystical stuff, but there's a vibe up there that's really cool.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if it's the river.
The TVA is right there too.
Yeah, but it's a nice place to live.
So, what made you decide to leave Muscle Shoals?
Well, what was happening? There was a country act. I played on a couple of their records, named the Forrester Sisters. Those four sisters out of Georgia, and I played on a couple of their records, and I was looking for a road gig at one point, and I had mentioned this to the aforementioned Robert Byrne, the singer-songwriter, and he was producing the Forrester Sisters. And I had mentioned that I was looking for a road gig because I wanted steadier money. Sessions were up and down.
I see.
So he mentioned that to Kim and the Forrester Sisters, and they happened to be looking for a guitar player. So I started, since I'd played on a couple of their records, they were like, sure, So I started working with them on the road, and we went all over the world.
What was your favorite place?
I like the UK a lot. I spent 6 weeks over there with Paul Thorne one time. What's weird is, for some reason, my background on my mother's side is blue blood British.
Interesting.
So, but for some reason in Switzerland, it just felt like home somehow. I don't know if I've got some Swiss in my background or not, but the most interesting places are probably Japan and maybe Turkey. Yeah. We would do USO things.
Neat.
In the holidays, and that was really nice. So anyway, I'm on the road with the Forrester Sisters, and one thing led to another, and I wound up marrying one of them. And we lived for a minute in Nashville. but she had to. She missed the mountain. She missed Lookout Mountain in Georgia. So we moved to where she's from, on Lookout Mountain, just below Chattanooga, Tennessee, in Georgia side. And so that's what got me out of Muscle Shoals.
I see. Then, so let's go all the way back.
Mm-hmm.
What was your first guitar?
Excuse me, I'm going to go handheld.
Oh, yeah.
I like being tied to a mic stand.
So you were born in Montgomery, Alabama, from what I understand, but your mother's blue blood British. Hard to say. Where was she born, and how did she and your dad meet?
Well, she wasn't English. It's just her background. I mean, we had a huge book that was the family tree that went all the way back to the 5th century.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
And her lineage she was a Spencer, and so her lineage goes
like Diana.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool.
Exactly. So she was a 5th cousin 100 times removed, I guess.
That's pretty. We're with royalty.
No, I don't know about that. And her family came over on the Mayflower, and it was all that kind of stuff. But
isn't that something?
So she was born here in Montgomery.
Okay.
Her mother was the head of the music department at Huntington College here.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. My alma mater.
And so my mom played piano from the age of like 3.
Wow. So you were born into music.
Yeah.
Into a C instrument.
And she became a classical musician. She became a pipe organist.
Interesting.
Yeah. She was.
Did she play the churches?
Yeah. She was the organist at the church I grew up in.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was music from day one.
Mm-hmm.
She was great because, I would run out and buy records, and it was, Pink Floyd and Deep Purple and, all the sort of 70s stuff kids listened to.
And you were 12,
but she
13.
she would overhear me listening, say, to a Pink Floyd record, which is very cinematic. Her stuff is very cinematic.
Boy. Yeah.
So she would bring a record in and say, well, if you like that, you should listen to this. And it would be Richard Strauss orchestral works.
Mm-hmm.
That were like tone poems that were very cinematic as well. So that broadened my horizons immensely,
And probably influenced your ability as an arranger.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah. You knew when the highs and the lows and the songs were I mean, it was cinematic, as you say, very theatrical. Yeah. Very neat.
And so, but, when I was 6, there was the Beatles on Ed Sullivan.
Yeah.
And that cinched the deal for me.
The 6 and the Beatles, gotcha.
Yeah, I was just like, I got to be George Harrison.
Yeah.
I got to grow up
the
and
best
George
Beatle.
Harrison.
The only Beatle.
He's definitely the best ex-Beatle.
Yeah.
I love his solo stuff.
Definitely. All things must pass.
So, music was everything to me. When I was a kid, I lived inside my head a lot.
Yeah.
And my brain was wired to where I was not real social. I tended toward depression and stuff. So I would pretend, I would go out in the backyard and get on the swing set and swing back and forth and just sing my head off and pretend I was on the radio.
Oh, gosh, isn't that cool? What was your station? Do you remember your radio station at the time?
Oh, there
were several here, I know, that were big.
Well, there was a WHHY that was the FM station. I don't know if that was their call letters back in the 60s in the AM days, but there was that.
Mm-hmm.
And 60s AM radio was incredible.
That's what I know.
Because, you'd hear a bird's song, and then you would hear a monkey song, and then you would hear a Frank Sinatra song, and then you would hear a James Brown song.
That's right.
It was all over the map, and you got exposed to so many different kinds of music on AM radio. I guess it was WHHY AM, and then there was a WAPX, which was the black radio station.
Yeah.
They're called their tag was the black spot on your radio dial. So there's a lot of that. And there was my older brother as well, Bob. He is a great guitar player himself. He never chased a career.
Yeah.
But he's a wonderful guitar player.
Was he a mentor?
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, did he actually sit you down and show you?
He was the first one to get all the records.
Yeah.
At first it was the folk craze. It was New Christy Minstrels and, all that folk stuff. But then he got into R&B, would have James Brown records. And he had Iron Butterfly records. So I'll go into his room and steal his records.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So there was that. And, I just made it my mission. I had to be a musician.
So did you pick up his guitar? Or at first? That's where you started?
Yeah. And
now, he also...
And because of Jimi Hendrix, who was left-handed guitar player,
yeah.
Paul McCartney, who was a left-handed bass player, me being naturally left-handed,
yes.
I thought that gave me permission to learn how to play left-handed, which was probably a mistake.
Really?
But that's how I learned to play. And eventually I figured out, that you need to swap the strings around opposite normal way.
So you were playing a right-handed guitar with a left hand.
I was goofing around on his guitar, and one Christmas, I got he got a new guitar for Christmas. Mm-hmm. So I got his hand-me-down guitar for Christmas.
Which was it
was an acoustic guitar.
Okay.
That's all I can remember.
Like a Yamaha,
Yamaha wasn't a thing in those days. I don't remember what it was. I really don't remember 67. What it was. And my parents eventually bought me a cheap little amp and a cheap little crappy electric guitar, which I would give anything to have back because they're like collectors now, collector's items. So there was, so I started, I loved it so much. I loved music so much. And I loved the idea of playing the guitar so much that I just lived with it all day long, every day.
Wow. That's fabulous. So you'd go to school,
and when you love something that much, you can't help but get good at it, really.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I tell people.
It's not work.
I tell people that have kids that are learning how to play the guitar and stuff, and they ask me, well, what advice do you have? And I just said, I just love it.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't love it, they won't get good at it. Mm-hmm. But if they do love it, they can't help but get good at it.
So what were you listening to that influenced you other than your brother and your mom?
Just the usual suspects. It was, I remember...
Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Eventually, yeah. It was The Who.
Yeah.
Loved The Who. Yeah. Jimi Hendrix. Of course, the Beatles.
Oh, yeah.
And then it got into sort of the more hard rock stuff. Deep Purple and Uriah Heep and all that stuff. Grand Funk Railroad. And some of that stuff is still good now. Some of the stuff just has, for some reason, has no shelf life at all. It's just, oh my God.
What do you think about Eli's Coming? I hear it now and I go, yeah, it used to be really cool, but Three Dog Night, Eli's
I never knew what it was about.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, it's like,
I
hear it again.
It was a Laura Nyro song, who was a great songwriter. Nyro. There was a lot of stuff I just liked on the radio. And I'd run up to the drugstore and I'd buy 45s. I would play disc jockey when I was a little kid. I would play disc jockey at home. I'd spend 45s and read ad copy from the newspaper.
Did you ever make it to radio? Did you ever want to? Did you want to be a DJ like
No. That was just a phase. Along with playing air guitar in front of the mirror in the bathroom. Trying to get my look together. When I was 12.
Did you keep your hair long?
Yeah.
Yeah,
in those days, Alabama ran probably about 5 years behind the West Coast as far as popular culture goes.
Mm-hmm.
So the Summer of Love on the West Coast was like, 67, 68?
Yeah.
So the Summer of Love in Alabama was like 72, 73.
Interesting.
And so I embraced the hippie culture, for all it was worth and everything that went along with it.
Okay, so what took you from having this knowledge to implementing it and getting into the public eye? What was your first gig?
When I was 15, there was I don't remember how. I was kind of playing, goofing around in school and playing with some other kids in school and stuff and doing when I put a little band together and we won the 7th grade talent show.
Yay.
At school.
Yeah.
And
what did you play to
all
win?
of a sudden I was in Flint.
Yeah. You were cool.
Yeah.
Do you remember the song?
After being completely uncool.
Yeah.
Forever.
You shot to stardom instantly.
We played Johnny B. Good and Stormy Monday. Yeah. Yeah, there was a friend in those days in junior high school, and she got the words for Stormy Monday for me off the record. She wrote them down for me, and so I'd have the words. I ran into her, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, and she had the sheet that she wrote the words down on.
Interesting.
Yeah, after all that time.
So
that's kind of a keepsake. But yeah, and then there was that, and I guess word kind of got around, and there was a band here in town with the most pretentious name ever. There was a band called Erebus, which was like, I think in Dante's Inferno, the river Styx runs through a land called Erebus, and I guess we thought it was tough sounding.
Yeah.
And I started playing with them, and we played, junior high school dances and stuff like that around here.
That's great.
So, yeah, and that led to...
Now, at this point, what kind of guitar did you have? Did you have a lefty at that time? I mean,
I was converting right-handed guitar because in
okay.
those days it was extremely hard to get left-handed. You had to special order it and wait 6 months and pay a couple $100 extra. And
sure.
So I just converted right-handed guitars in those days. Yeah. Yeah, and that just led to a succession of local regional bands that I played in. We get on the frat house circuit, play all around the Southeast, clubs and stuff. And in those days, I was 15, 16, 17 years old.
You had a little following.
Working in clubs.
No.
And
you had a bunch of girls showing up at...
being starved for peer recognition in those days. I made a lot of bad decisions. I'll put it that way.
It was the time too.
Yeah. So those days, until I recovered from a lot of the bad decisions I made, memory's a little fuzzy.
Sure.
To say the least.
Absolutely.
At best.
But you remember how you got into a major outfit that somehow took you to Muscle Shoals.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Well, like I say, I started playing in this band here in town called Harmony.
Okay.
And that was the Muscle Shoals connection.
And that was it. And then, so the rest is history. It kind of all came full circle.
Yep.
And then you got back to Georgia, Lookout Mountain.
Yep.
And then what brought you finally back? I mean, we all seem to come back to Montgomery, Alabama.
Well, I'll tell you, an interesting thing happened. One of the greatest gifts I've ever been given happened on Lookout Mountain because there's no music. There was no music scene. There was a real vital bluegrass scene, but that wasn't me at all.
Yeah, I wondered.
So I wasn't really playing much. Yeah. And up until then, my entire identity was based on being a musician. Nothing else.
Yeah.
So, to make a long story short, I had a bit of a career crisis, and which led to a literal epiphany. Which showed me that career and money and work doesn't amount to anything without surrendering to life, and embracing love and forgiveness. So that was kind of a life-changing thing as well. I guess the Buddhists call it enlightenment. Christians call it being born again or whatever. So that changed everything. I wasn't chasing anymore. So everything that came after is a gift.
Absolutely.
So personally, in Georgia, the marriage didn't work out, but I was still living up there. I'd taken a bunch of regular jobs while I was there because I wasn't playing anymore. I worked construction for a few years.
Wow.
I worked in a middle school for a few years. And this band that I was in, that I've mentioned several times now, Harmony, got to where they were having reunions down here in Montgomery. And I came to a reunion, played the reunion, and a woman showed up who was the love of my life when I was young. You know, we got to a point where we were actually engaged. But I was embarking on a career. I was, in Muscle Shoals, and she was embarking on a career in education, and we just couldn't hold it together. Mm-hmm. Well, she showed up for this Harmony reunion. I was fresh off a divorce. She was off a divorce, and we got back together. That was another one of the greatest gifts I've ever received.
You were meant to come back.
So then we decided, well, we'll just come back to. She was living out of town. I was living out of town. We decided to come back to Montgomery.
Wonderful.
So here we are.
And the rest is history.
the rest is history.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so Rick Hansen calls me, and he's the actual founder of BamaSound. And the singer at the time was then Becky Fulmer.
Okay.
She's Becky Thompson now. And they were making a record. And he called me up. He and I knew each other back in junior high school. He called me up, said, "You want to play on some stuff on this record?" And I did. And at one point, we went to Chris's Hot Dogs downtown here in Montgomery, and for lunch. And he proposed that I come work with him, help him out with the business side of things, the marketing and stuff, and get involved in the music thing.
Was that of interest to you at the time? I mean, as far as the marketing
What was
side?
of interest to you? We skipped over the whole Paul Thorne thing. I worked with this guy named Paul Thorne, singer-songwriter out of Tupelo, Mississippi, for 30 years.
Oh, my. So, yeah, we missed a little. Wow, Paul Thorne.
And we were, we were
so
doing...
you played with Paul Thorne.
Yeah.
That's fabulous.
Yeah. I mean, 30 years, first 10 years probably were more off than on. He was trying to get things rolling. He and I met in Muscle Shoals.
Okay.
We would do songwriters demos at Fame, where you go in, songwriters have songs that they want to pitch. They got to demo the songs, so we would go in and do 6 or 8 songs a day of these songwriters demos. And on the end of a songwriters demo session, the guy that was running the session, Mark Hall, who's Rick Hall's son, said, I want to bring in this guy that we're interested in developing, and we'll cut a couple of tracks after we're done with the songwriters demos and just see how it goes. And he said, the guy's a boxer, but he wants to be a singer. He wants to be an artist. So we all rolled our eyes and thought, this guy's a boxer. He thinks he can sing, because track record of that kind of thing is usually not great, when an actor wants to be a singer or whatever. But he came in, we put the tracks together, and he opened his mouth and started singing, and it was, oh my God, who is this guy? Because at the time he sang just like Howlin' Wolf.
Wow.
He was, oh man, and we were just floored by his voice. So as a result of that, I started getting called to work on demos for him. Mm-hmm. He and his partner, Billy Maddox, Billy had a studio down in Lamar County, Alabama, this little podunk town called Sullivan. And I started playing on their demos. I don't know, they liked the way I play slide guitar. And he eventually wound up getting a management deal with Miles Copeland, who managed the Police and the Go-Go's and all,
Yeah, Stewart's dad?
Yeah. No, Stewart's brother.
Brother, okay.
Interestingly, their father was the head of the Council on Alcoholism in Birmingham.
How about that?
Yeah.
England.
No, Alabama.
Alabama?
Yeah.
I did not
Yeah.
know that.
No, they lived in England for a long time when he was
Yeah.
in the CIA.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I knew he was.
Yeah, their dad
something.
was in the CIA,
Yeah.
and they lived in Beirut and London. And anyhow, that's off subject. Interesting, but off subject.
Mhm.
We would stay. I did this tour of the UK with Paul.
Neat.
And we would stay at Miles's London house in St. John's Wood, right around the corner from Abbey Road.
Wow.
And that was our home base, and we'd drive out to all the gigs, opening for a fellow named Jules Holland, who was in a band called Squeeze back in the day.
Neat.
And he had become this television presenter in England.
Interesting.
He had a huge music show. But
now I'm singing.
he had all this stuff, of his dad's at this London flat, having to do with his time in the CIA and stuff.
Mm.
And I come to find out the Dead Sea Scrolls, some of them wound up at his dad's office in Beirut in the day. And I thought, oh my God, because some of them are still missing.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Book of Enoch.
Because Miles loved collecting
Thomas.
stuff.
Yeah.
He had all this Copeland china because that's his family.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Interesting. What an experience.
I was thinking, he has some of the scrolls somewhere.
Yeah, no doubt. Mary Magdalene.
But anyhow, I forget. I went off track. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, so Paul eventually gets a record deal with A&M Records through Miles Copeland. And A&M Records, I think Paul might have been the last person they signed before they went defunct.
How about that?
So the record didn't do anything. They lost a lot of money and learned a lot of lessons from the A&M debacle. And so they insisted on owning everything, releasing everything themselves, and playing small ball, but keeping all the money. Right?
Yeah.
So we were able to tour pretty easily and all that stuff. And it got to where we were doing 125 days a year.
Wow.
So getting back to Rick Hansen, I'm getting pretty long in the tooth. And
were you 30 at this
I love
time?
the guys in the band, and
Yeah.
I love the shows. They were a lot of fun, and we had a good following, but the road was just killing me.
Oh, I can't imagine.
It was just killing me. So at this lunch with Rick Hansen at Chris's Hot Dogs,
You were about how old?
he offered me the opportunity to get off the road.
Yeah.
This was 6 or 7 years ago.
Oh, this just happened.
Yeah.
Wow. In the scheme of things, that's not long.
Yeah, it gave me the opportunity to get off the road. It gave me the opportunity to do a lot of things that I hadn't done.
Yeah.
It offered a lot of challenges.
Which is good.
And frustrations too,
Sure.
but I've learned a lot. I've learned so much.
How about that?
Well,
right now, as BamaSound Media, you are a co-creator, co-founder. What else would you say? I mean, I know that you have a lot of hats that you wear at this particular point, and the web design is part of it. You're an arranger, a producer. You're an extraordinary producer, from what I understand. What is your favorite part of all the things you've learned?
Well, the music is my favorite thing. There's nothing I'd rather do than just sit in my room
and play
and make records.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my favorite thing. And anything audio, because I'm producing the audio for these podcasts, and putting audio books together.
You're doing
which was
job.
That's another one of the things I had to learn how to do, which is great. I'm still learning how to do things at 67 years old, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
Learning how to put ebooks together and stuff like that.
Keeps the telomeres growing.
And I'm not as involved with the songwriting as Rick and Cameron Dubois are, but I am involved somewhat. you know.
Were you here when Becky Fallmer was?
For a while.
For a while.
Yeah.
So you've had, how many different people have you had in the band during this time?
We like to think of it as a co-op.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know, we've had, you know, we don't play live pretty much at all anymore. But when we had several different folks in and out of the band. We formed kind of a partnership with the band OTI.
Okay. Outside the inside.
With Neil and Mark.
Neil Young and Mark DePlanch.
Yeah, did some live stuff with them.
And you'll find that on our website.
But as far as singers go, Rick hooked up with Cameron Dubois, and she became the primary vocalist. But on the Cloverdale album, she sings most of the songs, but we also have Wyatt Edmondson singing one song. We have Becky sings a song. I sing no, I don't. Steve Wingard from OTI sings a song that I co-wrote with a guy up in way back in the day, up in North Alabama.
That's interesting.
You know, so we like to think of it as a co-op, and we don't want to be closed to anybody.
Right.
You know.
Right, which is what sort of that comes full circle to what you're doing now, this new iteration, this seemingly collective idea of BamaSoundMedia.
It's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of stuff. It's a hybrid.
It's a lot of stuff.
It's artists, authors, musicians we coming together.
This company needs, 10 different departments handling 10 different things. Because there's audiobooks.
Right.
There are ebooks. We're going to do physical content with hardback and paperback books sometime in the future. There's the music.
Originals and as well as covers.
We've done some covers as well. Yeah. There's our music. There's OTI's music, some of OTI's music. There's the video side of things for YouTube. I mean, we have a ton of content on YouTube, and that's Curtis Imagery, Cameron Curtis and Jasmine Curtis. There are a lot of hats to be worn by very few people.
Yes, yeah.
So
right now
we can't do it all at once. Yeah. But we're knocking it down as best we can.
So, what would you say that your vision for BamaSoundMedia and including live, real artists is, as opposed to this AI world that we're delving into? This seems to me
the AI thing is a fact of life.
Yes,
it's going to be a fact of life.
Yes,
I don't know where the AI music is going to go. I'm not sure it'll be embraced by folks. I mean, when you think about it, and there's the streaming problem as well. But when you think about it, back in the day, late 70s, when synthesizers came along, there was a lot of pushback.
Yeah.
The orchestral musicians and the musician union, there was a lot of pushback.
Mm-hmm.
But synthesizers are here. Orchestral musicians are still here.
Mm-hmm.
And then when drum machines came along, there was a lot of pushback from drummers. That they're all going to be out of work.
Mm-hmm.
Well, drum machines are still here, and drummers are still here.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be that with AI as well. People like human created art,
nuances,
flaws and all.
It's like listening to albums today,
and
we want to hear the pops and the we don't want to hear the perfection. Of a CD.
Yeah, and I'd like to see AI put on a live show. I don't know,
Well said, well put.
And that's
well
where
said,
and that's where the income stream for musicians these days is anyways, live performance.
Right. That's right.
Because they're not making money from streamers.
That's right.
And as far as the streaming stuff goes, it's interesting. I had a thought the other day, back in the day when you're buying LPs, vinyl LPs, CDs, tapes.
LP means long playing, by the way.
Right. You're buying a license. You're really buying a license to listen to the music,
That's right.
that you own. You can listen to anytime you want. In the early days of digital music, with iTunes and that kind of thing, you were actually buying the files to listen to whenever you want. Well, now you are streaming music, so they have to set a value on a single. What's the value of a single listen to a song? I have no idea.
Goodness, yeah.
It's a completely different thing.
Yeah. Is it 0.02 cents?
So nobody's making money from streaming, but it's because they're trying to put a value on a listen and not on content.
That's right.
So who knows where that'll go. But as far as all that and us goes, I use technology when I record. A lot of technology. It's all on a computer.
Right.
And I will actually program drums, which is an act of creation. Because every hi-hat hit, every tom-tom hit, I am inputting myself.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of technology involved, but it's all human created. It's just tools. They're just tools. We pride ourselves on making our own music.
Yeah. Are you writing still?
I have written. We recorded a song called "Private Prison" that I wrote with a friend of mine that I used to play with. I used to drive back and forth. When I lived in Shoals, I'd drive it back and forth to Huntsville to play a club in Huntsville. I did that for 7 years. I think I figured out at the end of it that I had basically driven to the moon and back.
Oh my gosh.
3.5 times, commuting back and forth from Shoals to Huntsville. And that's where I hooked up with this guy named Terry McNeil. Great singer.
Wow. Yeah.
And a great songwriter. And we would co-write, and I would demo our little songs on my little 4-track cassette recorder. And we wrote a song called "Private Prison," along with others, and we actually cut that for the Cloverdale album. So I have written. The problem I have is with people like Randy Newman and Joni Mitchell in the world. It's hard to feel like you're good compared to those icons. Yeah. So I tend to kind of dismiss a lot of ideas that I have.
Sure, you're creative,
and that's an issue that a lot of people have. It's comparison.
That's exactly.
It's not what you're supposed to do. But I can't help it. But I write some, and I've lent co-writing support with Cameron and Rick.
That's been fun.
And Rick, I basically there's a song called "Dig a Hole." It was basically a co-write with me and Rick. So yeah.
So is the Cloverdale available? The album?
It's available on
the
BamaSoundMedia.com.
That's great. So
as a download,
the entire album. Okay, so you can get "Private Prison" there.
Yeah, you can download tracks, download the whole album.
What else can you find on the BamaSoundMedia website?
Well, we got the books.
That's right.
We got ebooks. We got a couple of audio books up now, and the music. And
YouTube seems to have taken off. You've done a lot of work on YouTube.
We've done a lot of work on YouTube. YouTube is a slow grind.
Yeah.
Because everybody's on YouTube now, So.
But not with this unique format.
I think so. I think you're right.
Yeah. You offer,
we've got this podcast going up on YouTube.
Right.
We've got audiobooks on YouTube. We've got music on YouTube.
A lot of good music.
We've got cover songs on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. And everybody from Becky to Becky Fulmer with her new name, and Cameron Dubois, and as far as the female lead singers. And there's a lot of incorporation as far, as OTI is on there as well.
Mm-hmm. There's
So,
a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah. Nobody's doing quite what we're doing.
So you need to subscribe. You need to like everything and subscribe.
And how would we do that?
Well, at BamaSound.
At BamaSound.
On YouTube.
It's so simple.
Yep.
To go to YouTube, like, subscribe. You can find out the latest that we're doing, that you're doing, really. It's a lot of you. So
it's a lot of everybody.
It is.
Yeah.
But you're kind of making it cohesive and pulling things together. And you enjoy that, it seems. So.
Well, like I say, my favorite is the music.
Yeah.
I love, it's not modern.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be modern.
Mm-mm. Whatever modern is.
Melody is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Arrangement is gone.
Yes, it's missing.
I like harmony, melody, and rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Do you see the potential for BamaSound getting out and performing anytime soon, or is that sort of on the back burner at this point?
I don't know. It's always in the back of. I'm an old man now. And as I said, I couldn't do the road anymore.
Sounds like you've had enough. Yeah.
And now the idea of loading all my crap into a car, and driving wherever and setting it all up.
You need a roadie.
Baking out in the sun, at my age, but we have done, when we do it, it's great fun, and we'll see where that goes. We'll see where it goes. We're so busy with everything else we're doing right now.
Yeah, sounds like it.
It's kind of hard to,
Was there anything else you'd like to share that is on your mind and heart, and that you just like people that are just tuning in now to know about BamaSound, BamaSoundMedia?
I hate to use this word because it's so overused. So I won't say journey. I hate that. It's a process.
It's a process. It is a process. Trust the process.
And we're trying things. Some things don't work. Some things work. But we're pushing forward. And I would just like as many people to go along with it as we can get.
Yeah.
See what comes next. It's so, with the book side of things and the music side of things, there might be people into the books that hate the music. There might be people into the music that hate the books.
But eventually the books and the music will collide.
We're not force-feeding books to music fans, and we're not force-feeding music to book fans.
But the literary aspect of the books will have the music that accompanies the story.
There will be times when we have an audiobook presentation, I guess on YouTube, that will have snippets of music, accompanying music.
And you're designing the book covers.
Well, I have.
You've done well.
I don't know that we're using. I don't know that we're going to use any of the stuff ongoing because I use AI to make the book covers, and we're trying to avoid that now.
Right.
So I think we're going to have human intervention on the book covers ongoing.
So that's exciting.
So
authors, artists, musicians. Oh my! There's an awful lot.
Yeah, there is. It's a lot. My day is full every day.
Your day is full. Thank you for taking the time to do this.
No problem.
It's really nice to get to know you and to learn more about you and to find out that you've come full circle from being born here to coming right back 8 years ago. Yep. Amazing.
Yep. It's weird.
I know.
It's really weird. Everything's different.
It's different. I know. You've got to find a landmark, and it's like, I don't know what street I'm on. Hey, Google. Hey, GPS. I know. It's terrible.
Well, I appreciate you. I mean,
Thank
you do
you.
such a great job
Thank you.
in everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
with
It's nice
us.
to be back
It's-
too.
it's-
Just to be with people like you and
you're a good hang as well.
Thanks back at you.
Yeah.
Well, again, let's just mention, and again, I watch a lot of YouTube, but to be on YouTube is just kind of interesting as well, right? That's kind of weird. So, but to close out, we want to make sure that you go to BamaSoundMedia.com. I want to hear the Cloverdale album again. I've only heard it once, but now that I know that you're a songwriter on the album, I'm very interested to hear it again, especially with the background that you've given. And there's more. There's a whole lot more to you than this little bit that we've covered today. So I'm interested in hearing more in the future.
I've been around for a while now.
I've been everywhere, man. Can you bring your guitar sometime and on the podcast and just kind of
we'll see.
pick and grin?
We'll see. I haven't touched a guitar since December, and this is the middle of July. So I got to learn how to play again.
Okay. I get that. Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, let's at least look into that for the future because that would be really neat. And to have you and Rick together and Cameron just sitting here talking and talking.
Yeah,
about,
we'll do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
We'll do that.
Very interesting. Very interesting what you're doing. So BamaSoundMedia.com. On top of that, it's at BamaSound on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And what am I forgetting? Anything?
That covers it.
I think it does. I think we try to make it hard, but like, subscribe, find out more sooner than later, probably sooner than we can put it out.
Go to the website, sign up for the newsletter.
Oh, yeah.
And you won't miss anything.
Oh, and contact Bill.
BamaSoundMedia.com.
Yeah, go contact at BamaSound.com.
Yep.
Right.
Tell us what you think. Give us suggestions, ideas.
And just be encouraged. I think that's the biggest part of what you're doing and Rick is doing and Cameron is doing, which is BamaSound. But BamaSound Media is encouraging real people. What's the motto? It's
I can't remember.
I can never remember the motto. Made by real people for real people.
Yeah.
See, it's just
we want
evolving.
to bring, and we want to bring more musicians into it as well.
Yeah, people who want to be encouraged and who know, hey, I'm not going to be obliterated.
We view this as a co-op, so the more the merrier.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Bill Hinds.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
All right. We'll see y'all later.
Come on back.